Did you ever live there?
Yeah, I did. I lived down there for years. I lived down there for a year. But then, of course, ships was coming in. Eventually, I managed to work my way back on a ship. I managed to work my way. So then I had to get back in the Seamen's Union again and all that stuff. So I always managed. But then I done things fell in place, But you couldn't do it today. That's what I'm saying. Because there's no such thing as the Seamen's Union anymore.
Right.
You see, there's no English ships anymore. You've got the Cunard and all that running outside, but all foreign crews on there,
Yeah.
They're not English crews anymore,
How did you find your way back to England and to the UK?
Well, I went round the shipping offices in New Zealand and put my name down. As soon as somebody jumped ship, what they used to do there, young guys would jump ship after a girl, they meet a girl down there. So these young guys would jump ship over for a girl, So that meant that job was going. So if you put your name down in these shipping companies, and BHI had my seaman's book at that time, it got me a job. So I worked my way back. And also, I told you, going out there, I was lucky. A ship was being built up in Scotland somewhere for the New Zealand government.
Okay.
I'd put my name down for the damn thing. Anyway, I put me down, and being as I've got my seaman's papers, they got me in, so I worked my way, then I got paid for it when I got down there. You get what I mean? So that got me into the Seamen's Union down in New Zealand, see? But all these things, I've had a lot of luck, a lot of things fell in place.
And then you were living in Southampton, but now you're on the Isle of Wight. So how did that happen?
Well, what brought me down to Southampton? Cunard.
Okay.
That's what, that's what brought me down to Southampton, to Queens.
Yeah.
I worked on the Queens.
So how did you cross the Solent to end up on the Isle of Wight? We're here in Cowes.
I finished up on the ferries, going across from Cherbourg and Le Havre.
Okay.
I worked on the ferries.
Okay.
And I finished up on the ferries as a cook, you see. So I all put it down to the army that got me these jobs.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I was complete when I left school, from jobbing tailoring to working on the building, and then I went in the army. I got myself a job as a cook,
Yeah.
and they earned me living.
How did you come here though, Frank, to the Isle of Wight? Why the Isle of Wight and not Southampton?
Well, I lived in Southampton a year. Bitton Park, I don't even know Southampton at all.
Yeah, no bit.
I lived in Bitton Park for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I don't know what brought me over here, to be honest with you, because I moved around so much. But it was something. Oh, I lived in a caravan. That's what brought me over here. I was living in Thornish Bay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thornish Bay.
Yeah.
I got an old caravan. I paid what the money I had and lived in there.
Yeah.
So in the wintertime you had to get out because they're only holiday sites. I don't know if you know that here. So I used to take myself out to Spain in the winter months. You get what I mean?
Yeah, for a nice warm holiday.
Well, it's warmer than here, we'll put it down that way. So then I'd come back, you see. But you had to get out the caravan in the winter time because then the licence said you could go in the daytime, but you couldn't sleep there at night time. And I think that's still the rules now, These permanent sites are very hard to get, caravan sites. To live full time on them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what and then I put myself on the council list. That's how I come to here.
Okay.
And we're down to how I got
And
here.
here we are. It's such a great story of travel. Your story is amazing. It's
Well, it is.
It's everything.
When you think a life I've lived travelling, but I've had a lot of luck along the way.
Okay.
But I've done it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wait till the next person to do it, you'll never do it. Because I met this guy when I was on the ships, and we was both going out to New Zealand. This is years ago, and I was only a young man then. I was 28, and he was a bit younger than me. And we got all these weird ideas. We were going to work on the sheep farms and things like that, and all this. Anyway, his mother didn't want him to go, and I went over to Ireland, and I met his parents, and she didn't want him to leave, And he didn't have the money at the time, and I'd paid his passage, that's right. £100 it was then to go to New Zealand. £100, could you imagine it?
Gosh.
And this was this old Largs Bay I was on, carrying immigrants out to Australia, as I'm saying. And you could go out there for £100. Today, it probably cost you about £800, I suppose.
Gosh, yeah.
I don't know what the fare would be, £100 to, but so anyway, he didn't go, he backed out, so he didn't want to go, so and then I put myself down, as I told you, and I managed to work my way out. The ship was built up in Scotland somewhere. Anyway, it was a new ship in for the New Zealand government. And I got myself on there, and I was a cook, and I was carrying 40 passengers. And they were young guys, all single guys, going out to New Zealand for the New Zealand government. And of course, the idea was they had to I'll pay the money back to the New Zealand government, because they was paying for the fare out there, I presume, you know. But I got paid because I was working. You see, I was a cook on there. You see, cooking for these. So there was only, it wasn't hard to please because I was all young guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so that's that's why I got out to New Zealand. And so paying my way out there on this this ship, I got my money back because the guy didn't want to go, and then I managed to work my way out there and stayed out for a year, and then I got back on the ship somehow. I don't know what it was.
It could have all been different, couldn't it, if your friend had gone with you?
Yeah, I'm saying I put it down to this. Had it been so, I wouldn't have done as much as I did, but I done it alone. You get what I mean? You wait for the next person, you'll never do it.
Well, well done for doing it.
And I had a young guy, but he come as only 18, and he'd got the idea he wanted to do some travelling. And of course he's talking about gap year. So I said, well, if you're going to do it, I said, you've got to do it now, because I said, once you get married, you won't do it. I said, and you have a family. I said, you're anchored. I mean, I was only fortunate I wasn't, and I got the wanderlust, you see. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So had I been married man and a family, I couldn't have done it. I realised that. And of course, with this young guy, as I say, I went out to Ireland, so he come from Northern Ireland, and his mother didn't want him to go, so he backed out of it. So I already decided I wanted to go, so I went anyway. I was going to pay his passage out, and he was going to pay me back, you see.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to. So then I managed to work my way out. I told you, and I got paid when I got there. So I've had a lot of luck. I've had a lot of luck.
You have.
But I've done it on my own back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But so had I could have stayed 22 years in the army, but no, I was lucky. I got out of the army and I got on ships, and and that's when I started travelling around the world for 10 years, you know. And I went out to Australia, was New Zealand before the States, and then another guy, the same thing. He was keen to go out to States. He backed out, so I still went on my own and went there, and you know.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for telling us your story.
So what I'm trying to say,
It's brilliant.
I've had a lot of luck, but I always say, and I said to that young guy, I said, well, you're going to do it, you've got to do it before you get married. And I'm only going from the experience I had. It's just been an interesting life, I suppose.
Yeah, it has.
And it's gone very quick. You see, although I'm 93 now, when I look back, it only seems like yesterday I was, before I went in the army, and I was 17.
Yeah.
Because all that time I've been moving, you see.
Yeah.
That's why my life's been so short. Well, it seems short.
Yeah.
So, and my first ship going out was the Queen was coronation year. You get my father died when I was out in Malaya. You know, I was in the army then. He died, our father. So, and she's been on the throne now how many years? I don't know. She's 18 months older than me.
Yeah. Brilliant. Frank, we're going to bring it to an end there, but thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I hope I haven't bored you too much with me yet.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
But you have a job to know where to stop.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you very much indeed.